Hey everyone, it's Isaac here, back with another video. Today's video is going to be a little different. Normally when I do technique videos, I'm like, hey, make sure when you're doing this, do it this way. I have done the technique several times. I've proven that it works. This one's a little different. I'm going to be trying this for the first time. I don't know when, and I encourage you to try it as well, but I'm not saying that you should do this or that this is advisable. This is just something I've thought of recently, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, which nobody really does yet, that is whenever you're trying to get a new high speed, typically you have like a specific text or texts on Nitro Type that you'll get that you know you can typically get a new high speed on. And the general rule of advice, stay calm, make sure to focus on accuracy, and just try to get a new high speed. Don't pay attention to your words per minute too closely, because then you'll freak out when you see that you're typing like super high above your normal, like average. I do that sometimes, I'll get like the long bones text and I'll type like 200 and I'll freak out because I'm going 200 and I'll choke it to a 150. I have almost gotten like a 200 words per minute high on long bones before, but I managed to choke because I kind of freaked out when I saw my words per minute. So don't do that. Before we get started, don't do that. But here's a technique I have to help you actually practice the texts that you believe are the best for your typing ability in high speeds. Now, first of all, you need to be familiar with the texts, know which ones that you really like for getting high speeds. I definitely recommend if you get a high speed or you start noticing you're typing really fast, remember not exactly what that text is, just what it's generally about. And then, if you're a Nitro Type YouTuber, you should already have this software, but if not, it's OBS. I can go to it actually, obsproject.com. I can't type. Not Streamlabs OBS. That's actually a ripoff of OBS. They took it without permission, even though it is technically a better software. I use OBS because I'm loyal to the people who actually made it, not the people who copied it. It works for Windows, Mac, and Linux. And then there are definitely other recording softwares you can use, but I like OBS specifically for this purpose because you can make a key macro to start and stop recording. So, for instance, my key macro to start recording is Control and then the little key underneath the backspace, which is like a standing line and then a slanted line. And then to stop recording, it's Alt and backspace. You can make that whatever you want. I use those because they're not pre-existing commands. Do not use start and stop recording commands that are commonly typed keys, because then it'll randomly start recording and stopping recording. And never start either one of your combinations with the same key, because then you could like accidentally end recording too early or something. I don't know. And if your computer doesn't have Windows or Mac and you can't get OBS, I'm not exactly sure what you do in this situation, but we're going to move on. When you get the text, hit whatever your key combination is to start recording. So yes, you will need to keep OBS open when you're recording, so make sure your computer doesn't start lagging like crazy when you keep it open, because it shouldn't. OBS doesn't really take up very many resources unless it's actually recording. And you can make this resolution whatever you want. I have a whole video on how to operate OBS if any of you curious. But yeah, make sure that if your computer's slower, maybe not keeping it open, so maybe this technique doesn't work. This only works for a few people, or not a few people, but anyone using Windows or Mac or Linux if you use Linux. Record the race. When you're done, if you get a high speed, fantastic. You just got your new high words per minute race on camera, which is actually pretty cool. But you also now know what that text is. You can go into like a Windows notepad, or you can open up Google Docs or whatever you have for keeping notes online. Copy the text from the video. So you can't physically copy it, you have to like watch it and then keep typing it out as you go. Once you have it all the way to the end, then there's a website called Monkey Type, and I don't believe I'm signed into it right now. You can go to custom, I already am, and change it to whatever you want. In this case, you would make it whatever the text is. For me, that would be long bones, because long bones is kind of the original gangster sort of text. Like, everyone loves that text. Not everyone, but most people do. It's the OG text for high speeds. I've gotten most of my high speeds on that text. I would put it in here, then you can save it, and then you can also just go to show save text. I would still keep it on the notepad or docs in case whatever reason it fails after an update or something. And then you can keep adding on to it as you keep getting the text. Record it every time, not just the first time. And that way you can keep adding on if your words per minute is higher than the last time. And therefore your text would be a little longer. So maybe you could get like half a sentence or a full sentence more. And then just practice that text a few times every day. So then when you get the text, you'll be absolutely prepared for it. and you'll be able to get a new high speed relatively easily. I know this all sounds really complicated, and I've yet to try it, so I don't even know if this will work. I'm sure it will. I don't know why it wouldn't. But it is definitely something that you should try to do. I can imagine it would definitely help, because, practice definitely helps with anything. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it. Let me know how it works for you if you decide to try it. If you don't, that's alright, because it is definitely kind of complicated, and you need to keep another piece of software open when you race, so people with slower computers, that might lag your computer just a little bit. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I can't really think of any announcements. There will be a giveaway coming up beginning of August, and that will end at the end of August. I think I'm going to completely forgo the whole first Friday of the month and last Friday of the month. I'm just going to start them on the first of the month, or as close as I can, and end them on the last day of the month. But yeah, I think that's it for today's video. So hope you all enjoyed. Let me know how it works for you in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.